Hello and welcome to the Gonzales Mitchell Show. I'm Clay Mitchell. Patrick won't be here today. He's headed down to Crisfield to go down and eat some good crabs and enjoy the scenery down there on the southern eastern shore. Our special guest today is Julie Giordano. She is the county executive of Wicomico County. Julie graduated from Salisbury University with a degree in communications and public relations. After graduation, she was a human resources person for Toys R Us. And I'm a Toys R Us kid, Julie. Um, After that, she became a teacher and taught in the Wicomico County public school system for 17 years. 4 or 5 years ago, she got involved with politics, is on the Central Republican Central Committee, and now the duly elected county executive. Julie, who's that guy with you? Is that Bunky Luffman?
It is Bunky. So Bunky is my director of administration for the county.
And Bunky is also the commander of the Scrapple Trail, which I am the proud consigliere of. We have a great time going around the shore, eating good scrapple, made here in Delmarva, and we all have a good time. Julie, you have to join us sometime.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've attended a few things and a couple Ravens tailgates with some really good scrapple. So I get to be a part of it a little bit.
Right. All right. Now, I understand down in Wicomico County, this coming election, there is something called Question A. Could you tell us what that is and what's going on with that?
Sure. So back in 2004, we had a councilmanic form of government, and the county council decided to raise taxes 24% in 1 year. So, and actually one meeting had happened, and that was it. And it really struck a nerve with a lot of citizens. And not only did we end up with a revenue cap, we also ended up with the executive form of government. So the way it was done was that a straw poll was done and it passed with flying colors. And so then it went on the ballot in 2006 and it also passed. And so since 2006, we've had an executive form of government. I do feel that there are some people that never really accepted the executive form of government. A lot of times when you have a big chunk of the power and now all of a sudden your power is divided with the balance of power, some were not happy with that. And I really don't think, honestly, that they've really given the executive office a fair chance because of this animosity towards the office and how everything went down. I took office December 6, 2022. And we have done some amazing things, a lot of things that should be easy. I have a 5-2 Republican council. I'm a Republican. So you think that there would be a lot of talking across the aisle and, being able to work together. And unfortunately, it's just been kind of, I won't say roadblock after roadblock, because we have been able to get a lot of things done, but nothing has really been made easy. Long story short, there was a group of citizens, about 3 or 4, that would come to council meetings and weren't big fans of mine. And so took this initiative as a personal attack and, decided that they wanted to see it on the ballot to potentially go back to the councilmanic form of government. So they want to eliminate the executive branch completely and then go back to the councilmanic form of government, which, for us, we look at it as kind of dangerous. It's regressive and we're at a really great place. There's only 9 county executives. We have a really big presence in Annapolis and are able to do a lot of other things that councilmanic governments aren't able to do. So it's a little frustrating. It's a little bit of a distraction. We have a lot of things going on. And right now I feel like I'm back in campaign mode, making sure that, our 104,000 citizens understand that, this is exactly what you're voting for. So, or voting against, so, we're just trying to keep people informed. And so that is definitely on the ballot in November. So we'll see what happens.
All of the other 9 counties that you spoke of are all large counties, and Wicomico County is a large county on the Eastern Shore. It's growing. As you said, there's over 107,000 people there. I would think that a executive branch and a legislative branch in county government would be a good thing so that there's a check and balance on whatever a runaway council may do, or if there's a bad idea, there's always that check on it. because you are elected by everybody in the county, not just in one part of the county. Uh, what is the feedback that you're getting from the public on this?
So most of the feedback is they feel that this is very personal. They feel that it definitely is a regressive step backwards. And that ranges from everybody from Republicans to Democrats to business owners to restaurant owners to real estate agents to, it really just depends. But everybody that we have spoken to, honestly, I would say 95% are against this initiative. But these are also people that have gone out of their way to reach out to me to say those things. You have a lot of the public, and this is unfortunately across the state, across the country, that are just very uninformed, and I think that that's the biggest fear, is that you will have people go into that, go in and fill out their ballot and just say, oh yes, because they're just not reading it. So our goal is to make sure that we are informing as many people as we can. This is exactly what this vote means. And so we've been using a lot of different outlets, for that. So we'll see what happens. But honestly, the general thought right now from what I'm seeing is that it's not a very popular topic or not a very popular initiative. So, and we hope that it'll stay that way, through the election.
And Clay, it's across party lines. We've heard different long-term people who've been very active in the Wicomico County Democratic Club who they haven't publicly, but sort of privately and in Democratic meetings, because on the shore we know everybody will come out and say this is a bad idea. Wicomico by registration is still a majority Democrat. So my thinking is, not to put words in their mouth, is they think that at some point this could go back. Our first county executive was a Democrat, and he served 2 terms, Rick Pollitt. So this isn't just a Republican thing. It's right or wrong thing. And for me, I trust this form of government really is modeled on the federal government, and I really trust Thomas Jefferson, John Hamilton, Madison. I trust them a lot more than the folks on the county council that voted to abolish the position when it comes to what form of government we should be in, as well as the people who voted for this form of government already in Wicomico County. One of the oddest arguments that the other side's made is that this was voted on about almost 20 years ago. So shouldn't we now have people who have moved to the county get to vote again? I mean, can you imagine that federally? If every 20 years we voted whether to have a president or not, I mean, just it makes no sense. It's feel like the other side is just throwing everything against the wall and see what it stick, which I think comes from desperation, because I think they're getting the same feedback we are.
I think a county of your size here on the shore should have a form of government like that. I originally come from Kent County. I think we have a total of about 19,000 citizens there. Obviously, a county commission of 3 commissioners works because there's only 19,000 people there. But I think that the division of power, the way you have it there, seems to work over the past 20 years. You're obviously doing well. And speaking of doing well, I understand you all were up in New York this past week.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, so we were getting our bond rating. So we were doing our presentation for our bond rating. So what was so amazing about this time was, so this is the second time I've gone up. Last year, we were able to say, this is the foundation we're laying. This is the direction that we're going. These are the things that we want to accomplish. And then we go up, yesterday or on Monday, and we are able to say, it wasn't just lip service. These are the things that we are putting forward in the county. We're focusing on economic development. We're focusing on infrastructure. We're doing the things that we said we were going to do. And I think that they were really impressed. There was a lot of positive feedback. I think it was comparatively from last year, I think the presentation went so well. And not even that last year was bad, but just this year, they could really see the movement and they could see the excitement and they could see the positive direction that the county was going. So that's always a good thing. And so we'll see. So we're hoping for our rating around October 2nd for the bond.
That's great. That's great. What's your bond rating currently?
We are AA plus.
AA plus.
So,
excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
AA plus, S&P. Mm-hmm. Which is not bad. I mean, we really, it's funny, our economic development director, Dave Ryan, always says that we don't get a fair shake because there's a couple things that they look at. So we have a revenue cap, which does sort of hurt us, when they're looking at the rating. It's great for our citizens, but, when we're coming, to try to borrow money, sometimes the little things work against you. But the things that we are doing in this county are really amazing. The developer that we brought in, the AMP school at the airport, which we can talk about, like these different things, sanitary district, we're changing, legislation to help businesses. Those things that we're doing, I think are really impressive. And I think that we gave a great presentation.
AA plus is an excellent credit rating. That's not junk bond by any stretch of the imagination, and that is an excellent rating to have, especially from Moody's and the houses up there in New York. They're tough to deal with. This summer, you took a trip and went to the RNC, did you not?
I did. What an amazing experience. I told so many people, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, if you feel very strongly about a candidate, and you get that opportunity to go and celebrate that candidate with people and be around just the energy and, it's just such an amazing experience. Here lately, it's been kind of hard to take a vacation. So I told my husband that we're going to Milwaukee for vacation, for this RNC. So he got to experience too as a guest, but still so amazing. I mean, I think the speakers at the RNC just did an amazing job. And it was really neat. My brother-in-law is a Capitol police officer, and he was actually stationed there. So we got to hang out with him a little bit. So it was a little bit of a family affair, but it was a very cool experience. And if anybody gets a chance to do it, I definitely recommend it.
And that was just shortly after the first assassination attempt, and he had the bandage over his ear. I understand a lot of people were in the audience wearing symbolic patches over the ear. Is that true?
They did, yeah. You saw quite a few. But the biggest thing, and it doesn't matter, to me, if you're a Trump fan, great. I really like him. If you're not a Trump fan, that's okay. But just seeing the strength of that man and seeing his family behind him. And one of the greatest shots that I saw was him sitting there and his granddaughter, who's like 4, is sitting on his lap. And I think that you really see the human side of him. And I think we forget that sometimes. And I see that even now in my role. I think people view you as this public figure and then that's it. And they sort of forget that, you do have a family and you do have kids, and in his case, grandkids, so I think it's, the whole rally part of it is very cool, but also seeing that human side of him is also really neat as well.
I thought I go way back and looking at different conventions. I thought the Republican and the Democratic convention were just well produced and got a message across. I really enjoyed the music at the Republican convention. I thought that band they had up on stage was awesome. Sounds like a great time. What else is going on down there in Wicomico County that you'd like to tell us about?
Well, one of the most exciting things is on October 10th, we are having a groundbreaking ceremony and a ribbon cutting ceremony at our airport. So we have been waiting patiently for 7 years for us to get everything in line for this runway extension. And we were able to really shepherd it through, making the different phone calls, getting people saying, hey, we need your signature, you're holding this up. And so we finally have the green light. There was a piece of property that we had to acquire, and we had to get it from the state, and there was like 25 signatures that needed to happen. So we have that. But one of, I think, my proudest accomplishments is my 3rd or 4th day in office, I think it was. I signed a check for $3.3 million, and it was part of the money that Governor Hogan left to the Tri-County councils. And we signed our part over to the airport and to SWED, our economic development team. And we said, build us an aviation school. And they've done so. And so they've partnered with UMES, and within 2 years, we have a school. We have a hangar that has been designated. We have airplanes and helicopters and tools. And it is now a program that is going to be offered at UMES. It's a 12-month program. It's very rigorous. But what's nice is that there's a pipeline. So they go and they do this 12-month program through UMES. They can either transfer those credits if they decide to do a 4-year degree, or they go right out to work with Piedmont. who has said that they will hire the first 75 mechanics that come out of this school. So we have designed a pipeline of jobs that's unparalleled to anything else in the United States. And it's right here in Wicomico County. So it is amazing to see. And so we will be having the ribbon cutting in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So it's very exciting.
That's awesome. I actually flew into Salisbury a few times, and that is one of the best kept secrets of the shore. And certainly
Yeah.
if you can expand and put programs in like that, uh, what an economic dynamo that could be. People flying
Mhm.
into southern eastern shore and not have to worry about a third Bay Bridge. They could just hop a plane and fly on over. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
And
so
that,
that's very exciting. And we also are looking at a potential new airline there as well. So right now we just have Piedmont, but we're looking at something that would take a direct flight from Salisbury to Florida. So we're really looking at that Florida market, probably Orlando. So that's amazing too. So that will help with a lot of tourism and things like that. So people coming up to golf, maybe won't stop in Myrtle Beach. They'll continue on and come golf, down with us, even though most of our courses are in Worcester County. But still, traveling through. So the airport, definitely, I think our administration has really recognized the economic jewel that it is, and are really pushing, different things, out there. And then another cool thing is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with St. John's properties, but St. John's is huge over on the other side of the bridge, and they are now very interested in Wicomico County. And we have a groundbreaking ceremony for their first building that they are going to be building down here, which is flex space, which is something that we need. And so we have, a new developer, and this is going to bring, what was it, $500,000 worth of, economic impact, I guess, to our county. So we're very excited about that. So really, we've done a really great job at just looking and really seizing opportunities, to make our county better. So.
Well, and one of the things about that particular developer is they had come down under a previous administration, and they weren't interested. They wanted them to do something at airport, and that just didn't fit their business model. So they said, no, thank you. But the county executive reached back out to them, and Mr. St. John, who's in his 80s, came down personally, and we gave him a tour, showed him different properties where he could do sort of what is the main emphasis of their business, which is large flex space, 100,000 square foot, that kind of thing. And he's ended up buying one property. He's also, I think, negotiating on at least a few others. So he has nationwide about 25 million square feet under contract, because he doesn't create and then sell. He creates and leases. He's a very incredibly wealthy person, but also a sort of tastemaker in this space too. So we've had different people, sort of in that area, in that sector, say, hey, when St. John's property starts opening stuff in your county, you're probably going to hear from other developers, because they're going to be like, what is going on in Wicomico that they could get at St. John down there personally to build? So we're really excited about that. And then, of course, he has contacts in several different arenas. So we're really excited that this could potentially lead to other businesses coming to occupy those spaces, not sort of, there will probably be some in our county that are like, hey, that's a new space, let's go over there. But we think this is also going to lead to more economic development. So we're excited about it.
that's awesome. Personally, I think they're just coming down there for the Scrapple, but that's just me, Bunky.
It could be that
That's just
too.
me.
That's right.
Could be that too. And then we passed two monumental pieces of legislation. My first term in office, we passed our sanitary district bill, which allows Wicomico County to have a sanitary district. We're one of the probably only counties that is not in water and wastewater at all. So our municipalities, we have 8 of them, 7 have water and wastewater. But as far as the county goes, everyone is on septic. And so we know that is not a forever, thing, so we know that, there's an environmental risk factor with that. So we are really trying to move in that direction. First year we passed the legislation, we started drafting what that commission is going to look like, with the sanitary commission. This year we just hired somebody from the Maryland Department of Environment, Adam Corey. He is now with us as our Director of Environmental Health. And we have preliminary engineering studies that have been done or that are going to be done on the east side and the west side of the county. So we're really moving in that direction, and that's going to help with, housing, affordable housing and getting more development here. We need houses, we're short like everybody else. And so we've got to figure out the best way to do that. So we worked on that. And then the other bill that was huge, which sounds so silly because people say, I can't believe you still have that in your county. So we are one of the few counties, I think there's only 2 of us left, that had a dispensary system when it came to alcohol. So we were still having that 4-tiered system. And so we were able to open the door a little bit and allow our business owners, our restaurant owners, to purchase from whatever distributor that they would like, still with the dispensary system in place. So in our surrounding counties are going to be utilizing our dispensary as well. So we still have it in place, but like I said, we've opened the door a little bit, which was monumental. It sounds so simple, but as Bunky will tell you, there are no easy alcohol bills. So everything is complicated when it comes to alcohol.
And that's a quote from Jeannie Hathaway.
Yes.
Who served on that committee for 11 years. Because the first year we tried to do this, I looked at a bill that Somerset and Worcester had done when they sort of were getting rampant down their dispensary. And I tried to write the bill. And I called her and I was like, look, I just can't figure out how to write this. There's so many pieces of code that this hits. And she started laughing in my ear on the phone. It's like, Bunky, there is no such thing as an easy liquor bill. Send that to a bill drafter.
Well, I know it looks like the 3 of you are getting ready to take a road trip down to Crisfield and have some awesome crabs. Well, I hope you all have a good time. Thank you for being with us today, Bunky and Julie. I appreciate you being with us. That being the end of the show, it's time to say goodbye, Patrick.
Goodbye, Patrick.
Goodbye, Patrick.
All right. Goodbye, Patrick. Wherever you are. Have
Wherever
yourselves a
you
good
are,
afternoon. Wherever you are, Patrick. All right. Have a good time down at Tawes Crab Feast.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. See you all.